I want to show you a memo, signed by the top general in the U.S. military. It proposes faking terrorist attacks on American soil, blowing up a plane full of American college students, sinking a boat of Cuban refugees. All of it staged, all of it blamed on Fidel Castro. The goal? Get the American public angry enough to support a war. This isn't a leaked rumor. It's declassified, sitting in the National Archive, 4 pages, stamped and signed. And the strangest part isn't that someone wrote it, it's that this wasn't even the only plan. I wanted to know how many times and for how long Washington drew up ways to take Cuba down. 1959. Fidel Castro rolls into Havana, and within 2 years, he's nationalized American businesses and started cutting deals with Moscow. 90 miles off the coast of Florida, in the middle of the Cold War, that's not a regional headache. That's an emergency. And Washington starts treating it like one. The CIA trains a force of Cuban exiles, lands them at the Bay of Pigs, and expects an uprising. It doesn't come. Within 3 days, the invasion is crushed. It's a public disaster for a brand new president, and inside the CIA and the Pentagon, it becomes personal. Castro didn't just survive, he humiliated them. So the response isn't to back off, it's to go underground. Operation 40, a CIA-run unit built out of anti-Castro exiles, doing sabotage and intelligence work inside Cuba. Operation Mongoose, a Kennedy-authorized covert campaign budgeted at roughly $4 million, aimed at destabilizing the Castro government from the inside. Propaganda broadcasts, sabotage, assassination plots that read like bad spy fiction. None of it is working. This is where Northwoods comes in. By 1962, the Joint Chiefs, led by General Lemnitzer, pitch a new idea. Forget covert sabotage. Manufacture a reason for a full invasion. Stage attacks, fake casualties, blame Havana, and let public outrage do the rest. And here's the part that gets left out of the viral version of this story. Kennedy's team reads it and rejects it. Robert McNamara, the Secretary of Defense, shuts it down. So the most extreme version of this plan never leaves the building. But rejecting Northwoods doesn't mean rejecting the goal. It just changes the method. Because at the same time, the Pentagon keeps a real invasion plan on the shelf. Over 260,000 troops, amphibious landings, an air campaign to knock out Cuban defenses first, all designed to take Havana within about 2 weeks. Kennedy doesn't order it, but it sits there, ready, in case something forces his hand. 6 months later, U-2 spy planes photograph Soviet missile sites under construction in Cuba. Suddenly, this isn't hypothetical anymore. For 13 days, the world gets closer to nuclear war than it ever has before or since, and all those invasion plans, all that appetite for a pretext, it's suddenly not abstract at all. Fast forward 14 years. Cuba sends troops into Angola's civil war, and in the Oval Office, Henry Kissinger tells President Ford they may need to, in his words, deal with Castro directly. Ford agrees. Contingency plans go back on the table. Blockades, airstrikes, mining Cuban ports. It never happens. The 1976 election changes the administration before it can, but the file exists. The instinct never really left. So Operation Northwoods isn't really the story. It's 1 page in a much longer file. 5 administrations, 3 different agencies, over a decade and a half of plans that ranged from sabotage to staged terrorism to a 250,000-man invasion, most of them shelved, one of them almost triggering a nuclear war anyway. What actually stopped the worst version wasn't restraint built into the system, It was individual people saying no in specific rooms at specific moments. I keep coming back to that part, not the plan, the refusal.